In this presentation, I'm going to focus on highly strange events that took place over 72 hours from approximately midnight of Christmas night into the early morning hours of December 26th and onward to sunup on December 28, 1980. And this Google aerial shows the Woodbridge weapons storage area in the lower left, near the Woodbridge airfield bordered by the dark green Rendlesham Forest. At the far eastern end of the Woodbridge flight line is the East Gate, and beyond the gate is a British civilian's farmhouse called the Foley House. The orange path marks the roads that Staff Sergeant James Penniston said that he traveled in a security pickup with Airman First Class John Burroughs and Airman Ed Kavansak to investigate strange unidentified aerial lights after midnight on December 26th. And for you as an audience, I would like to stress something that I've become aware of, that certainly in the United States, we think of a day as the sun comes up and we go to work and there's one night after we get home. The truth is, there are 2 nights and a day in every 24 hours. From midnight to midnight, when the clock hand switches midnight going toward 1, it is night. When the sun comes up, that is the day of that first night. When the sun goes down, it is the second night in that 24-hour period. This is very important to keep in mind in studying, reading about, or listening about RAF Bentwaters, because many people over the years would say, because they went to work at 11 p.m. on December 27th, that what happened was on the 27th when it's after midnight on the 28th. So we're talking with Penniston and Burroughs about a 3 a.m. event on December 26th, 3 hours after Christmas night shifted. And the orange dot near the farmhouse field in this map is where Sergeant Penniston says that he and Airman Burroughs approached bright lights, and from Penniston's point of view, a black, glassy surface, triangle-shaped craft, entirely different from what you're going to see in a computer illustration from John Burroughs in a few minutes. Between the Foley House and the farmhouse is the section of Rendlesham Forest where the mysterious lights, beams, and the craft phenomena occurred between December 26th and 28th, 1980. And at the conclusion, I'm going to share with you what happened 12 days later, on January 9th, 1981, that in its own way was equally dramatic for 2 airmen, and it provoked Colonel Halt, Colonel Ted Conrad, and then Colonel Gordon Williams, the 81st Tactical Wing Commander, who became a general a month later, to all 3 hurry out into Rendlesham Forest because more UFOs had returned. And we'll get to that later. About 4 miles north was the RAF Bentwaters weapons storage area that did have nuclear weapons. It was top secret at the time. It is acknowledged by everyone today. Those nuke bunkers along Hot Row were watched 24 hours a day by security from the Bentwaters WSA watchtower. This photograph from the now historic RAF Bentwaters Tower looking out over the nuclear weapons storage area was taken in 2007 by UK police officer Gary Heseltine. What I have come to better understand in talking with all of these men and a woman who was there is how many highly strange aerial light phenomena were being seen by various people in different parts of the large airbase. But sightings were often never reported. If reports were made, they were often known only to the people involved. As RAF Bentwaters Airman First Class Doc Rhodes told me a few months ago, quote, "When I got to Bentwaters fresh from basic in January of 1980, which would be about 12 months before the dramatic events, so now he's there in January of 1980, I was told by some of the more experienced guys, quote, "If you see a light or something strange floating in the skies here, don't report it. You'll only make trouble for yourself," close quote. And in fact, Doc Rhodes sketched for me what he remembered seeing at the beginning of 1980 when he was stationed at the Woodbridge main gate one night. He said a very large, bright area light stopped in the air very close to where he was at the Woodbridge main gate. He could not hear any sound, and watched this light shoot a series of beams down toward the flight line where the Woodbridge weapons storage area was. That did not have nuclear weapons, but it was a weapons storage area. And Doc Rhodes told me this to emphasize that as early as January 1980, something unidentified with the ability to send beams down, just like we're going to hear, happened in December in 1980, a year later. The beams were going down into that weapons storage area at Woodbridge.